That happened. She's trying to show what I was doing. I got mad and they hate for my videos to have everything in one. Like, I'm gonna put my glasses on in a second. You see how they change my appearance according to whether I'm wearing my glasses or not? They do the same thing with this. That's his last name. Hello. Getting you. Right? We're not sure why. We have to this morning? Yeah. I had a nice little walk here and got some content. It's about well, 20 minutes walk. How about yourself? How's your morning been? Oh, good. So I do have a little thing, so I'm gonna have you sit over here. Okay. And I finally got this. Yesterday? I took it. Oh. I was the first one to ask for it. I'm sort of forgotten over here. Because I really appreciate it. Right. But I just thought, well, I think last time probably, I don't know if I should try this. We'll see how weird it is. It's all weird. I can't say. No, it's not too weird. See me. Your face, right? That, I think so. Anyway, so I just took it from where people aren't really working because they thought they had to make me something special and this wouldn't work because they made these and I'm like, this is fine. Yeah. It's good. I put little flowers. It does exactly what you need it to. It is, and I don't like it. I'll be glad when we can just talk, but you know what? This is better than being in that other room. Did I see you in the other room last time? No, we were here. Ah, you're one of my only people I saw here. I haven't seen people back here for so long, so you really probably are one of only like 2 people that I brought back. So now I have this, and it's nice because then I can look at charts and things like that. And you don't have a lot in your chart, but I can look at my last note because I know we talked about a lot last time. Yeah. And today I just want to like verify some of what we talked about, put it in so your eval's done and people will be happy about that. Okay. And because sometimes we don't always hear things right or we write them down wrong or it, you know, I know everyone, lots of people, especially my in-laws will say, well, it's in the chart, and I'm like, yeah, but in the chart doesn't always mean it's right, so. That's true. Alright, anyway. Well, thank you for walking all the way here. We'll hope it stays cool. It'll be cooler than at least a couple days ago, I think, right? Yeah. I like to start with the, well, tell me how you're doing. We'll start with that, and then I'll do the stupid busy work that we got to do. I'm doing okay. Alright, yeah. And is mental health court going okay for you? Mental health court is going okay, but I did recently request to graduate early. Okay. You know, and last time I was here, we kind of talked about that, you know. You were talking about there's a lot of things in the media right now, and, you know,
a lot is being said, and the nation itself is confused.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you can't keep calling the truth a lie. So if there's a scientific explanation behind some of these things, that needs to be recognized.
Yeah. And I'm not sure.
And for that reason, I feel sometimes the entire mental health umbrella is undermining.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, when did you come into this program? Because I've lost track of everything with COVID because we don't see people.
I pled in December 16th.
Okay, that's what I
Or
thought. It had
15th.
already been a little while. So
Yeah.
was your program originally going to be a year or 2 years, a year and a half?
It was going to be a year.
Okay. Everybody used to it's changed so much also. It used to always be 2 years, and it used to be
Did it
different.
really?
Yeah, it used to be very different than it is right now.
Well, I keep hearing that, that there's been a lot of changes.
And the good news is you're already halfway done. So I'm like,
right.
You're already halfway done.
Right.
And, yeah, so do you have to go, so I know I think that Judge Williams is starting to do in person.
Yeah,
so
starting next week.
Next week? Do you have to go next week or not? Or not sure
Attorney Shockey is going to get back with me today.
Okay.
And let me know whether or not I can go.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually spoke with her yesterday. I was in to see Rochelle, and probably about a half hour after I left, she gave me a call, so.
Okay. Alright, and then you've been here, and then you were also here, at CSS for OPC in the past, right?
Correct.
How long ago was that?
Once in 2018,
Okay.
and then January 2020. Let's see, in 2018, I believe that time frame would have been like September, if I recall correctly.
Okay. Like fall, and then January 2020. Okay. Ugh, can't speak. So you were on, no, you were not. You weren't on OPC when you got into this, right? This is like
Correct.
A year later. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You've been in the military, Army right out of high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can read my stuff.
As far as other occupations, travel contract, work, and I've been to school for psychology, but it's incomplete.
Are you still in school now?
No.
No? Okay. That part I can't remember. So let's do that part. So let's just did you grow up here in this area? I don't think I ever asked you.
Yes, I grew up in Akron.
Okay. Any brothers or sisters?
A brother.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Do you still see your brother or not?
No, not at all.
And is he still living though? Is he still in Akron area?
Yeah.
Or not? Okay. And I know you talked about kind of being alienated from your family.
Yes.
Did you grow up with both parents? One parent?
One parent.
Who did you?
Mother and grandmother.
I almost added grandparents because there's a lot of grandparents that kids live with. What was it like growing up? Things okay? Not okay?
Okay.
Any trauma when you were younger?
No.
Any abuse when you were younger?
No.
And how about as you were older? I don't think I asked you last time. Have you ever been raped?
No.
Abused? Beat up? I'm trying to think of all this stuff. Or did you see combat when you were in the Army?
I've had 3 combat tours, but I never saw anything, to...
Like to kind of trigger memories or anything like that? Right.
Yeah.
Where were your tours at?
Iraq.
Did your fellow troop, did they have combat that they saw?
Yes. Or? I was in a medevac unit, so they saw some pretty bad things. As far as trauma, I think I might have told you this last time. I feel like I'm being abused.
You do?
But it's not recognized,
Well, and I would actually, you lost a baby, right?
Yeah.
I would call that pretty traumatic too. And people might not call that traumatic, but I would call that trauma.
Yeah.
Just it's all relative what you call something, and that's in in your medical history. But that I can't think of can't think of other things that would be traumatic, but that would be very difficult. And how old were you when you lost your baby? You were.
Let's see, that was 2014.
I know, I have to subtract like 30.
7 years ago? Yeah, about 30.
I know I'm jumping around. I'm trying to make it easier. I should not jump around, but I try to not ask everything all over again.
Nope, that's okay.
So, and then you went, where did you go to school here?
Central Howard.
What was it like there?
Okay.
Did you like school, didn't like school, did well, didn't do well, any suspensions or?
I don't think I ever had a suspension in high school.
Okay.
Like, I think I might have had a suspension maybe in middle school.
Okay,
But
what did you do
I was
in
popular.
What happened in middle
Probably
school?
a fight.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I fought a boy in middle school and got suspended behind it.
Okay.
But, yeah, as far as high school, I was popular. I did activities, you know, so I played volleyball, step team.
Okay.
What else did I do?
Did you like it? Did you like high school? Was it okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I was always indifferent about school. I felt it was just something that had to be done.
Yeah, okay, you just
Yeah.
did it. Okay. Well, and that's better than hating it, I guess. You sort of
Yeah,
put
much
up with it
better.
and you did some fun things.
Yeah.
People liked you. Did you, even though you were popular, did you feel like you had good friends, or did you feel like you just sort of had acquaintances and kind of knew everyone, or were you able to connect with people? Or were you a loner inside, do you think?
I feel like I was just known, you know, but not that I had many connections with any of them.
Okay. Did they feel like they had connections with you, do you think?
They thought I was approachable.
Okay. And you know what I didn't ask was, were you ever the witness of abuse, like your mom or grandma or anybody being abused? Because that's also.
No.
Okay.
And because I know my family history, I do know that there was some before my time.
Okay.
But none while I was around.
And did you ever know your dad?
My dad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He went to jail when I was 9.
Okay.
And he got out when I was 19. So that's. He got out.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you remember him, or you didn't? Did you know him before he went to jail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did he go to jail for? Do you know?
I believe it was. Let me try and remember.
And I'm the world's
Because I don't-
slowest typist, so I don't write all this in here, just so you know, because people start to get worried. She writing
Oh
it down now.
no.
I sound loud, but I'm terrible. I've never taken typing, so I'm just like, I'm still back at like medevac unit, or you know, but my brain is hearing you, but my fingers are doing it.
That's okay.
Anyway, so.
But I don't think it was directly. It might have been like.
But it was a long time.
It was domestic. It was something domestic, like him and a female. Like.
Okay, all right.
So.
Did he go to prison, or did he go to
He went to
jail?
prison. He
I
was on for.
It was probably prison
10
for that
years.
long. Yeah, because the jails don't keep anybody in,
Mhm.
especially then. Okay. Do you have a relationship with him now or not?
You know, it's weird because I started building a relationship with him, and when this gang stalking thing started, you know, I was very transparent about what I was experiencing, and he was acting like he was going to support me.
Yeah.
You know, like, because they've never had to do anything for me. I've always taken care of myself. I
Sure.
practically raised myself.
Sure.
But he disappeared. He disappeared in July of 2017 and just didn't show up again.
Does anybody see him or talk to him?
Him and my mom, like, he's one of those, he's weird in that way. Like, you think if his children are willing, like, he want to, like, try and see what he could establish with them. But he's like, he would rather us be out of the picture, and he kind of just wants to deal with my mom. So he comes around more often when none of us are around.
Okay. Which is a sad thing.
Very.
Very sad thing, especially if you guys are willing to give him a chance. He's not, for whatever reason, not able to do that.
Yeah.
So, do you know if he has a mental illness? Or has anyone ever said anything?
Nothing that's recorded, like nothing on the record, you know, and I say that about all my relatives. They don't have anything on the record, and they'll all tell you that I was the most sane until this game stalking thing started.
Okay, alright.
Imagine that, like the matriarch. I was the matriarch in the family, and they're like, you know, she's the most sane person. She's the rock. You know, if she doesn't have a solution for it, then no one does. And then suddenly they just all
They abandoned you, or they
abandoned me is
I'm not
the
sure
perfect
if it was
word.
I don't know if it
And-
was perfect, but I think it sounds like it feels like that way anyway.
Yeah, that's the perfect word for it. That's how I've been describing it, as abandonment. They didn't call me and check on me. They knew I experienced something I never experienced, homelessness, that I was now without a vehicle and on foot, you know, and none of them showed care.
Yeah, it sounds like there's just there used to be at least some kind of a bond there where you
Well,
felt like,
imagine people that always call you for their problem, and as soon as they hear something about you, imagine them looking at the relationship different now, you know, like not feeling like we should have a one-on-one, that I'm not worth the phone call, you know, and that you're going to receive your information secondhanded from other relatives whose word has never been reliable. It was different. Like, I could see if I was displaying a behavior, you know, like acting out about this, but all I was doing was like,
you're just talking about it.
talking about it. I have a YouTube channel, you know, and stuff like that, and they were kind of mad because I was being vocal about it.
Which actually I like you're able to talk about it, because like I said, as we try to figure out what's going on, some things we can never figure out, but it's just
It
a nice
helps.
experience to be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
And here you can always talk about whatever you need to talk about, but people don't understand all the time. So, let's see.
How would you deal with that? Like, if you were abandoned by your relatives, you know, and let's say something like this happened to you, like, you know, your lifestyle was completely changed, and you're saying that you were attacked by the government, and that you, on your channel, you're actually proving some of these things, you know, and you're showing where there's a history, it can be referenced,
Can't see what you're saying,
and they won't even watch. None of your relatives watch. How would you feel?
Yeah, like I was abandoned.
Yeah.
And I am the person in my family that would usually do all the reaching out to everyone, and if I don't do it, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
I
Exactly.
understand that. I think that. I think it's also a difference in personalities, I guess, is how I try. It hurts, and I think it's probably really hurt you because you put a lot of energy, and you're also a person who sounds like you're approachable by other people, but you don't open up very much to people. And so if you were able to pour out some love to your family and try to take care of them, it's probably really hurtful because it doesn't sound like you trust very many people with that.
Right. Well, I was transparent, you know, like, that's kind of how my life is. Like, I don't have anything to hide.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's up?
And maybe they're scared, you know.
Well, they are. I'm talking about eugenics, you know, so, and, you know, they're all familiar with the end times. Some of them are Bible bumpers, you know, and when it comes to talking about terminating created races, you know, and terminating the government, that is scary to them because I have some mixed relatives, you know, interracial, and they look at these things and they're looking at me like, well, you're okay with getting rid of us. And I'm like, well, if you can't stand without science, yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think probably somewhere in there is where they probably started to get scared or they can't understand. Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just looking, and your last job was maybe in 2019, right? Did you live alone in an apartment?
Correct.
AMHA housing, right?
Yes.
I'm glad you have your own place. Were you homeless for a while?
I was homeless for about 8 months.
Okay.
So let's see, January, yeah, about 10 months.
Where did you stay?
Haven of Rest.
Okay. What was it like at the Haven?
Horrible. It's a hellhole.
Okay.
You know, like, and I think I was faced with looking at how a lot of these establishments that are grounded in Christianity or Catholic, whatever the case may be, that are rooted in these faiths.
Mm-hmm.
They're very contradictory, you know, like, so I've seen a lot of bad things when I was there.
Okay. All right. And thank goodness you didn't have to stay there. How did you eventually get housing then?
I applied for my voucher in January, so I just had a little bit of a wait. I finally got it in July.
Okay.
And I started looking right away.
All right.
And then, like, that officer pink slipped me for being in the waiting room after hours. And I
was that one of the OPC things?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like it didn't call for that. And, you know, it turned into, as soon as I got to the hospital, it turned into my beliefs. I was protesting alone at the time.
Where was that at? Was that at the hospital?
City.
Okay.
And the
Which
protesting
was that the 2017 or 2018? 2018?
2018.
Okay. So were you just in the lobby after hours, or what was going on?
I was in the lobby after hours.
Okay, and they came up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they lied on me. They said they saw me wandering around the YMCA. You can't even get in there after hours. You know, like, he literally came across me.
Okay.
In the lobby, just sitting there, like, going through my book bag, organizing it.
Okay. And so, did they send you to the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay. How long did you stay at the hospital?
3 weeks.
Is that when they put you on the Vega injection, or?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 weeks is a long time. Maybe you didn't have somewhere to stay at that point, right?
Right.
So they might have been trying. Did they have housing for you when you got out?
No.
Or no?
No. Nope, I continued my search. I found a place and moved in December.
Okay.
I got on the 15th of October.
When you were a kid, did you have any counseling, any medications, ADHD stuff?
Never.
Any depression that you think should have been treated but never was?
No.
Okay. And then, was that at St. Thomas, is that the first time you'd ever gone into any kind of treatment for mental health issues, or do you have treatment from someone else? That was the very first time.
Yes. And I had a voluntary stay.
Okay, when was that?
Let's see, that would have been April of 2017.
What was that stay for? And was that Akron City?
No, it was in Long Beach, California, a VA
Okay.
clinic. So what happened was, this is right after they stole my vehicle, I had indents in the back of my back. Like, from where, like, you could physically see it. And the doctor ignored it. So, and he was just like, I think some people just scared the shit out of you. I'm sorry that you lost your car. He was like, but what I can do is, because I was telling him, I'm like,
was there an accident? What happened?
No, my vehicle just got stolen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was,
That was 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Victoria Gardens, is where it was. I got out, I took a walk. When I came back, my vehicle was gone. And the lot was completely occupied. Cops never wanted to check the surveillance. They were like, you know, you have to ask the individual source. So I asked around a couple of times, no one would help. But this stay at Long Beach, he was like, you know, we have room in general admission, is what he told me. He was like, he was like, I know you're paying for hotels right now, and you're going to be catching a flight home. He was like, so if you just want a room in general admission to help you save some cash, he was like, we can do that for you.
Okay, so you feel kind of tricked at that point.
Yeah.
Were you homeless at that time, or were you?
I had just moved to California. I have money.
Okay. Did you know anyone there, or you just moved there?
Just moved there. Okay. With a plan, like.
Okay, you had a plan what was going to go on. How long were you there before this all happened?
A month and a half.
Okay. Okay. So that was kind of the first time. Did they put you on medicine or anything then, or you just stayed there? And how long did they?
Well, he was like, if you want to take it, let her know. And so the nurse come back. She's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I think I'll take a couple days in the room. And she came back again, and she was like, he said that all we have is M13, and it's a low capacity mental health hospital. Okay. You know, so he completely switched it up on me. It was like he left.
Okay.
I want you to understand this. I hear voices, right?
Yes.
I'm saying the government's talking to me. there's a lot of covert professionals that also hear voices.
Okay.
So when they're being informed, they make decisions to sometimes mistreat others.
I can't do this thing, but okay.
You know, they'll mistreat others behind this, how they're being informed. So if he found that I was a threat and that I was going to be talking about this, that would make him change his decision about giving me a room. And
so you're feeling like something happened and it changed. How long did you?
I still had the opportunity to take it or leave it, and I was like, I didn't know it would have an impact.
Yeah. So when you stayed there, how long did they keep you there?
Just 3 days.
2 days.
I volunteered. They said, well, if you're not gonna, what did he tell me? He said he didn't have a prognosis, and he was like, we don't have a way to justify keeping you here.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll leave.
Okay.
Because I wasn't trying to get a diagnosis or anything that would damage my record or.
Yeah. And I think I asked you last time, did you get an honorable discharge from
Yes.
Army? How long did you stay in there?
11 and a half years, maybe 12.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Did you like your time in the Army? Or not
Yes.
like it, or were you indifferent?
No, I liked it. But my political views changed, and I saw the shift in the type of millennials that were joining the military, and these things that were joining were really different. And it was like you had to, I was an NCO, and I just didn't want to mentor like these things that didn't get any home training anymore. Like, I feel like there's certain things you should come with.
Yeah.
And if you're not coming with those basics, you know, I don't really want to touch it.
Okay. When you were in the medvac unit, because I'm completely ignorant of the armed forces and kind of what happened, especially Army. I know a little more about Air Force. But what was your job there? What did you do there?
Food service, a little bit of supply. My MOS was food service, okay. So that's a 92 ball. We worked hand in hand with supply. And then I was supposed to reclass to a 91 Bravo. Is it a 91 Bravo? Anyhow, it's a wheel mechanic.
Okay.
Because that's the type of unit I was in, like,
okay.
For National Guard. I was in a maintenance unit. So, and I just never got to go to school. I even extended my contract for that and didn't get to go.
Okay. And you did have some schooling?
That was actually why I ended up getting out.
Okay. All right. And you did have some schooling in psychology, correct?
Correct. I have schooling in real estate as well.
Oh, okay.
I took an appraisal class in 2005. And then I made an out-of-pocket investment, 15 grand, for like wholesaling and foreclosures. And that's what I was recovering from I made that investment in 2012. It took me until 2015, 16 to recover, really.
Okay. And you were in University of Phoenix for a couple years, and then that's when you moved to California.
Mm-hmm.
And that's is that when you started hearing voices after you got out in California?
Yes. Okay. It was almost like I spent too much time near Nevada, where Area 51 is.
Okay.
I passed through one too many times.
Did you really go to that? Or
I didn't go to Area 51, but I did pass through Nevada on more than one occasion.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's such an interesting, that whole thing is interesting, but we won't even get into that. So, okay. I'm just trying to think what else. So the voices started then. When they first started, what were they like? Was it one voice, several voices commenting on what you're doing, or just saying things?
When they first started, they were staging sounds. So in the hotel room that I was staying in, they were trying to make it appear that someone next door was playing music. I keep hearing this music playing, and a guy that's kind of like moving around. And when I actually go to the desk to ask them, you know, to say something about the noise, they tell me no one's there.
Okay.
So then about a week or two later, a guy and a female starts talking, and I'm like, where y'all at? And I thought they were speaking through the Bluetooth, of my
Okay.
car. I called BMW geniuses, and I'm like, how can I disable like completely? I'm just trying to get rid of them. I drove for like the longest time, trying to see if something would put me out of range, you know, like, and they just continued to talk and continued to talk.
So you couldn't get away.
Watching via satellite.
Okay. Did anything ever make it go away?
No. And Vega didn't help. You know, me being transparent about it didn't help.
Or saying stop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've even wrote like agencies, or you know, like.
I know you had actually written to the government, and then they took it as a threat, and that's probably,
Yeah.
is that how you got into this
2020.
one, or that was the 2020
Yeah.
time? Okay. Who did you write to then?
The DIA, National Security, CIA, DOJ, Department of Justice. Let's see who else. There was another intelligence unit, like, oh, my thoughts are jammed.
That's okay. You were just basically writing asking them to stop? Did
Yeah.
they take it as being threatening? Is that what happened at that point? Or were
Well,
they
I was
concerned
actually
about
being physically harmed with science. So I had like proof of physical damage that doctors were ignoring. And I was writing them to let them know that, you know, like, all this information is out here about this covert stuff that's taking place, and, you know, you have these mental health umbrellas that are designed to pretty much keep it from getting out. You know, and I was letting them know it's going to get out.
Okay. So how did you end up getting to the hospital then?
In 2020,
Yeah.
I called.
Okay.
This is how I'm
Okay.
being mistreated. So
Okay.
check this out. I call and I speak to Sherry Icorn, which is Human Health's like grievance coordinator.
Okay.
And I'm like, I just want this put on my file, you know, like in case it's brought into question.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
all I requested was that she add it to my file. She read
So
it.
she's like an ombudsman or something like that? Or
Yeah.
something like that? Okay.
Grievance coordinator. If you had a complaint, you send it to her. She went to the very last page, found the thread, like completely didn't look at anything else, and sent the police to my place to get me.
Okay.
Breach protocol and everything. Like, there's a form that's supposed to take place and all kind of stuff. So, like,
Okay.
and it's crazy because I'm trying to find a lawyer that's outside of Akron, like, to take this on, like,
Okay.
because
Somebody
the city of
outside.
Akron has just done me no good. Like, they've done nothing but completely screw me over and call everything that's the truth a lie.
Yeah. So, well, and it's hard to find someone